Hello TikTokers, who am I? I'm Dark Shades, soon to be the Christian relationship counsellor. Now, I'm responding to a lady who in response to my video about you need to express your feelings and your emotions to your partner in order to have a healthy relationship. Now, what I'm wondering is, why is it your partner's responsibility? We live in an idealistic world. Back in period days, the woman's feelings were not acknowledged by her spouse or her partner. They went to their friends, they went to their parents. Their parents consoled them, their parents talked to them through. And we ended up, back in the day, you ended up in a situation where your husband continued the behaviour and you adapted to that behaviour. Now we're taught, just like our children are taught to express themselves, we're now taught that we need to have these conversations with our partners. And I believe that is how narcissism has come about, because all of a sudden we are now asking our partners to listen to us. We want to express our feelings to our partners, and we find that our partners are just not interested. And so we are saying that these people are selfish, self-centered, arrogant, because they're not allowing us to express our feelings. Now, my argument is that in an ideal world, I'd love to have a partner who I could express my feelings to. That's not to say I don't have a partner I can express my feelings to. I'm just talking generally for people out there who have partners and feel they cannot express their feelings. Some, you're fortunate to find your best friend in a partner. When you have a best friend as a partner, you can tell them everything. But we know with friends, there's certain friends you can tell something to, and there's certain friends you can't. There are certain people that you can entrust your deepest secrets to, and other people that you cannot. Similarly, when you choose a spouse, there is no guarantee that that spouse is going to turn out to be your best friend and you are going to be able to express your feelings to that person. That doesn't mean that that person is a bad person. That doesn't mean that you have to leave that person. What it means is that as long as you have somebody to share those feelings with and somebody to talk it through with, you're still going through a process of healing and doing yourself a favour. When it gets unhealthy is when you hold it in and you cannot release it. Now, if you tell however you want to express yourself to a friend, a family member, or someone else, you've diluted the impact on your body and your health anyway. What that would mean by sharing it with a third party is that you no longer have those deep compounded feelings of resentment and anger. And so you will be more likely to speak to your spouse in a way that he or she can accept and may even acknowledge. What happens is that when we have our feelings and we want to express our emotions, they're not always intelligently expressed. I'll put it that way. Because as humans, we're apt to get angry and emotional and say the wrong things and come over the wrong way and be aggressive, accusatory, judgmental, critical. It's in our nature, especially when we've been boiling things up. So like I said, I don't know what kind of feelings that this person would want to express to a spouse. All I'm suggesting is that it's not a guaranteed that you're going to have a spouse that you can express your feelings to. But that doesn't mean that your spouse is a bad spouse. just because you cannot express your feelings or that person won't acknowledge. It's just like when you're at work, you don't tell your workmates everything, do you? And it's with your friends. If you're like me, you have a couple of friends that you tell one kind of, share one information with one friend that you trust to a certain level. You'll open up more to another friend you'll talk about something else. You don't give everything to one person, and that one person doesn't serve you in every way. So all I'm saying is that with relationships, you cannot expect your partner to be your be-all and end-all. It's an unrealistic expectation, and it causes disappointment, and it causes unhappiness. So what you have to ask yourself is, who can I express my feelings to? Who do I feel safe enough to express my feelings to if I cannot express them to my spouse at this time? And then hopefully, when you've expressed your feelings to whoever you feel safe expressing your feelings to, you can then go back to your partner in a rational and non-emotional way and discuss how you're feeling. I believe for the most part that people don't like emotion. They're afraid of it. There's nothing wrong with it, but they're afraid of it. And that is why, especially in Britain, they talk about the stiff upper lip. And if you show an emotion, you're seen as weak. There's nothing wrong with showing emotion, but it has its place. And it has its place with those you feel safe with. For me, I feel safe most with myself. If I'm upset, if someone has upset me, I'll go somewhere and I'll cry, or I'll go and have a walk and I'll get it out of my system. I speak to God, I pray, and I believe that, when you pray, it's like self-talk. It's like whatever you're saying to God, you're actually saying to yourself, and you're reinforcing that message within yourself. So whatever is ailing me, when I'm talking out, I'm actually talking in, and I'm actually being able to calm myself after that period of emotional outburst. Nobody has to know. Nobody has to know how bad you're feeling. My mother always used to say, and I say this often, no one knows what's in your heart until you tell them. We've grown in a society where we feel as though we have to offload. We have to tell everyone everything. If you go on Facebook, TikTok, people are talking their business. Everything is out in the open. Nothing is sacred anymore. Who says that's the most healthier way? Who says you feel safe after putting your whole life on a platter? It doesn't mean that just because you have a spouse, your spouse has to know everything about you either. You can have something and hold something back for yourself if you don't think it's safe to share it with your partner. Now, you might say, if it's not safe to share with your partner, why did you marry him? We all have a sacred space. We all have a place in ourselves where we need to keep sacred in order to feel safe. And then we share that sacred space or that sacred experience with whoever we trust. I only trust one individual or one being, which is God. I do not trust any man with my most sacred emotions. I just don't. Because they are too quick to throw it back in your face when things go awry. So, in order to keep myself safe, I keep my emotions and my secrets to myself. And then when I feel in a good place and when my partner is in a good place, I'll talk to him about it. And I'm coming from a place of love. I'm coming from a place of compassion. And I'm coming from a place of rationality at that point. Whereas if I had come out with it before, who knows what might have happened. So I don't know what you think about this, but let me know your thoughts.